Hello and welcome to this video on adding and subtracting fractions. This is the first video in this series of adding and subtracting fractions, so if you're just starting out, this is a good video to start off with. Let's look at example number 1. It says 1/5 plus 2/5 is equal to something. So if we look at the diagram here, you can see here we have 1/5 shaded in. Here we have 2/5 shaded in. So hopefully you can see that in the answer we would in fact be able to shade that one, which is equivalent to that one over there. And these two here I'm going to shade down here. So my answer is 3/5. So let's just have a look at what exactly we've done there. The denominators of the fractions here have remained the same. They've all been in terms of fifths. And we have actually added the tops of the fractions, which are called the numerators. So I have done 1 plus 2 to give me 3. Example 2 shows 3/8 plus 2/8, and if I do what I did before and colour in the equivalent pieces, so that one, and that one comes from this diagram, and these two here go like that, you can see that my final answer is 5/8. So again, my denominator has actually stayed the same, and I've just added the numerators. 3/8 plus 2/8 is 5/8. Example 3, what about a subtraction now? So here we have a diagram where 7/12 are coloured in. But what happens if we now subtract 2/12? Well, let's do that. Let's subtract 2/12. So there's one gone, there's another one gone. What am I left with? Well, I'm left with 5/12. So it seems that for subtraction as well, if the denominators are the same, you can just subtract the numerators. 7/12 take away 2/12 is 5/12. So how can we summarise this in a rule? Well, the really important rule that you need to remember is that if the denominators are the same, you can simply add or subtract the numerators. In other words, if the number on the bottom of the fraction is the same in the question part, then you can simply add or subtract the numerators. That's the top number in your question to give you the answer. Okay, example 4. What about fractions that add to give one whole? Okay, so you've got here a third plus something gives me one whole, which I've symbolised there using a big number 1. So 1/3, what would I have to add to that 1/3 to make up that full cake or full circle over here? Well, if that bit's shaded there, I would have to add these two to make up the whole one there. So I'm adding 2/3. So 1/3 plus 2/3 makes one whole. And you can, of course, write this one whole as 3/3, because there are 3/3 in one whole. So you can see again that if I add the numerators 1 and 2, I get 3/3, which together make one whole. And remember that the word whole in this case is spelt W-H-O-L-E. One whole. Example number 5. I've got one cake, or I did have a moment ago. Let's just take it back up to 1. So one whole, all coloured in yellow, and I'm subtracting 5/12. So let's take those back again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Subtracting 5/12. What am I left with? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm left with 7/12. 7/12 is my answer there. One whole, take away 5/12 leaves me with 7/12. And again, you can see hopefully that those two numbers there, well, they add to give the numerator, but also one whole, remember, is 12/12. And you can see that 5 and 7 add to give that numerator there, 12. Example number 6, I've got one whole in blue here and 3/10. So what do I have to add to get up to 2 whole cakes? Well, let's have a look. Let's do it in a different colour. What am I going to add on to this 1 3/10 to make up to 2? I've got to add on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7/10. 7/10 is what I've got to add on. Hopefully you're seeing a pattern now that 3 and 7, to make one whole, that 3 and that 7 add together to give the number on the denominator, because there are 10/10 in one whole. Example 7. I've got 3 whole circles in red here, and I want to subtract 2 1/4. So I'm going to subtract 2 1/4. Here we go. I've taken away 1, 2 1/4. And what am I left with? I'm left with just 3/4. And you can see together that 3/4 and that 1/4 there would add together to give the whole, which again would take you back up to the 3. Okay, here are some questions for you to have a go at by yourself. So get some paper, have a go at these, pause the video, have a go at these, and then restart the video to see the answers. And here are the answers. Very well done for having a go at those.